All right, let's talk about product packaging and what your desires and requirements are going to be. So, it's going to be different for every industry and every product. So, I'm just going to outline the general things to think about. But the best way to do it is look at your industry and then go ahead and see what your competitors are doing and what the market wants and needs. And then we're going to be able to go from there. Generally, what we want to consider and focus on is like, what are the consumer needs in this market? How sensitive of a market is this? Are you selling something for a death in a family? Are you selling something for a once in a lifetime event like a solar eclipse? Are you selling something for, is it safety, or is it luxury, or is it like a wedding or like jewelry, or is it just like a silicone spoon? Don't sell silicone spoons, but like, think about this. And so really what it comes down to here is like, how important is this to them is going to determine how far we're going to go with our packaging, and if we're going to get our points across with the packaging, or if we're just going to get it across with the product insert and the instructions, because it's going to be different for every market. I really didn't customize the packaging for the Eclipse because I focused so much on the product quality and then the inserts as well as the instructions that I was able to get all the consumer needs and all of this across with just the inserts and everything. And I had a plain white box with just the sticker on it, and then a clear poly bag with the required stuff on it for the glasses. So I did actually focus on the packaging more with the telescope filters and stuff like that, but it was a little bit different there. So you want to think about like, of course the consumer needs like we just talked about, but also like, what is the LTV of this brand? Do you care about this brand? If it's just an arbitrage opportunity, probably just, focus on those customer needs, do everything necessary to prevent negative reviews and to inform them that they have good experience. But like, if you're not trying to build this brand, then you don't really need to do it too much. And then also it's like, here's the thing, how important is the packaging to this product? In supplements, all right, packaging is everything, all right? Because this is what is giving the feeling of how like premium and superior this is. Same with jewelry and all high-end products like that. So if we were to look at all the protein powder, it's basically all the same color. Like, how would you know what's better or whatnot? A lot of it's probably the same. In all honesty, it's just all sold on the, all on the design of the packaging, who it's meeting with the customers, and people will buy certain types of protein because it matches with them more than the other one. This one's designed for, and these types of people, blah, 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 they're all pretty much the same. Let's be honest. There's grass-fed, there's non-grass-fed. There's ones with sugars, there's ones with not. Like there's not too many ways to cut this differently. Maybe they add some extra stuff in it, but basically it's all just branding and selling psychologically to people. Or this, like, okay, this neoprene laptop case is it's essentially packaging for your laptop. It's protective packaging as you go. So do we really need a fancy box that's like having this grand experience? Well, I mean, maybe if we were selling the alpaca one and we had diehard passionate alpaca people, but I mean, the product is what got them to buy, and they care about more than like, you're not really going to add any value or blow any minds by having good packaging here. So neoprene, a poly bag would just work in this case. You could go above and beyond if you want, but I really don't think it adds any value. It doesn't solve any of the consumer needs. So, yeah. So yeah, I probably wouldn't be focusing too much on it in that, but I absolutely would, because guess what? The thing I didn't say about this with the protein powder, that's actually part of your image. So people really buy based off of the packaging of the product, as we talked about. So, yep. And then look at the competition's packaging. So if everybody else is doing really awesome packaging, okay, you should definitely be doing it. If they're not, maybe there's an opportunity for you to come in and blow it away with premium packaging, and maybe there's not. There's actually a story, I think it's Kevin King, a successful seller. He found a way to go into dog treats, and everybody else was selling like 30 dog treats or something for like $20 or something, and he was selling 3 dog treats for 50 or 60. But he had like this really royal case that was like a it was almost like you were opening like a little chest or something, he said, and he was able to sell it for 50, $60 and sold a lot, and it was making way more profit than everybody else. He found an interesting niche though, where essentially it was rich people or something, and he said some guy bought like 18 times from him because it was like there's this part of the market where they wanted like this, royal treat for their dog that they absolutely loved, and they're, wealthy customers or something. I don't know. He found a consumer need for a special, like, emotional thing for this dog that they care about. So, I mean, that's an example of where you could solve customer needs in a market where nobody else is focusing on packaging, but going to be a rare occurrence. So, but if you find it, good for you. Good for Kevin, by the way, for figuring that out. I never would have thought of that. So once we've determined, kind of what are the needs and like what's the point of the packaging even here? Now here's what we actually want. We want protection. So we need to protect the product. Like things like not only the main product, but like having it nice, well organized and tight in there. So you maybe like ties around cords and whatnot, and you want it to be a nice experience when people open it. So definitely, if you've got a lot of accessories, find some way that this inside packaging is there. And here's the key: you don't want any loose packaging. Like nobody wants a shaky box when they open it. So make sure that it's nice, well protected and snug. It could pass the 3-foot drop test for Amazon. And yeah, it's going to just be a durable box. So we also want to inform and instruct the consumer. So warnings, if applicable, like especially this is going to be for the lawyers and not for the lawyers. This is going to be for us to prevent us from the lawyers. So if there's anything that they need to know about health, safety, or, liability, put that on there. You can go ahead, buy your competitors, especially if you're like what I like to do is go look at a billion-dollar brand or very well-known seller who's established and professional in the field and see what they're doing for liability protection. Not another private label seller, but an actual brand that like sells in retail. Because if you're selling into retail, there's often, you got to have everything covered. Like if something is selling at Walmart similar to yours, if they have whatever they have on their packaging is, they've covered all of their butts to get into Walmart, and Walmart is covering their butt. So that's a good way to go about it. But also talk to a lawyer because, you might have a different case. It might not be exactly applicable or the same. So definitely look into that. But we want to prevent all possible liability because we don't want to get sued. Obviously, we're going to have on the outside of the packaging, like we talked about before, all certifications and whatnot. And we'll get a little bit into the design in a second here, but we also want to do a lot of, all questions. Like you want them to know exactly what to do with this product and any all issues or what to do if something's going to go wrong. But we're mainly going to do that through the instructions and the product insert. All right. So now here is where the artistic part comes to it. So the design and the branding. So let's say you've determined, all right, this is a big brand play. We're going to get repeat customers or they're going to buy additional products. Like we care about this brand. Now you're going to probably want to put a lot of time into this if it makes sense in your market. Like I guess one of the best examples that I can personally think of is right here with Anchor. Let's look at the most successful private label brand ever because they obviously did something right. Because I bought 5 of these. I spent like $400 or $500 on Anchor stuff a couple of months ago because it works and I'm very happy with it. So they've got their packaging here. It's got their brand name right on it. They've got all of their technical and legal information on the back because nobody really cares about this. It's all real small on a label on the back. You guys probably can't even see it. But yeah, it's got their FNSKU on there, all their certifications and whatnot. And you can tell that basically this is where they put all their warnings and all that stuff that we just talked about to protect them for liability and whatnot. So and they made it really small, and they clearly don't want anybody to really read or care about it. Just there for legal compliance, it appears. Now here's where they care. So basically in the tech industry, who's at the top? Apple. And so it's kind of a standard in the industry. Like when you open it, it's a cool experience. And this is a charger for a cell phone, and it's something you carry with you all day. And basically nobody ever wants to have a dead phone. And the reason why you have this is so you could charge and never have that phone die, because that's essentially people's lives. So they really introduce themselves to their brand right away here. Okay, so basically they say right away, look, we are the biggest brand. We have the fastest charging product here, 20 million customers. We are Anchor. So they make it, and then now it's kind of like an unboxing process. So here, so we opened it up. They got their brand there, and now boom, here we are Anchor. This is us. Now you open it up here, okay, and there was the product right there, and it was in it was actually a charger, and it's holding up our camera right now. Don't ask us about that. But so it was right here, and it had this little white foam thing around it to protect it, and so that was probably for protection, but it also made it feel really nice, and it fit in there snug. And then right here they had the accessories. So here they're informing and saying, hey, the accessories are in here. And I tore this open, so it obviously looked a lot nicer there. So then you would open up this, and there was a bunch of product inserts in here. It's essentially a layered process as we opened the whole thing. And like I said, with the cord here, they got a nice little, they even went ahead, they had like a little Velcro tie on it so that you can always, and it's always staying on it, so you can always bundle it up. And even on the power cord, they put like a little plastic cover on it. I mean, don't know if that was necessary, but it makes it feel even more nifty and probably barely cost anything. And then, yeah, they even included a little adhesive strip, which they don't even show in the product images, but essentially so you could put it on the wall, I guess. But they did a really good job of informing me what this was. Actually, I was like, oh wow, well I actually bought this to put right by the wall, so you could just mount it right by the wall that you're plugging it into, because I bought 5 of them because I wanted it in every wall around my house. I was like, wow, that's pretty neat. Good job, Anchor. So yeah, those little ways that you could surprise them are also going to be great. So maybe you have an accessory in there that you don't put in your product images because it doesn't add value, but it actually adds value if they didn't expect it to come. So, maybe there's some extra little things you could do. And then, yeah, this was just random folded cardboard in there. But the purpose of this was so that everything fit in there nice and snug and kept the product at the top. So it was like right when you opened it, the products were all right there. And then all the empty space was at the bottom. So that was a way that they really focus on their branding, because you open it, it's this nice layered process of opening and going through it. And you get these, we also got these little inserts here. Basically on one side it said, not happy. And on one side it says happy. So it's kind of neat. And then they tell you what to do if you're happy or not. Don't know if this is against terms of service or not. We'll get into that in a little bit. But they provide all their information, their website, how to get support. And yeah, just ask to share it. Tell your friends and family. Leave a review on Amazon. They don't ask for a positive review. But yeah. Oh yeah, they also then have their little insert here. So on this, they have little diagrams really helping annotate out what you need to do to get it going. And then on the back side, they have all the attentions and warnings like, hey, look out for these things. So they lay it all out there, all the specifications, and here's the pitfalls, here's how you get it going quick. Now that I kind of showed you all that, they did these little extra things to really focus on their branding that weren't necessary, but they just made it feel like a nicer overall experience, and they cost a little bit, like the little extra Velcro clip, focusing on everything being at the top, that extra cardboard at the bottom. So yeah, Anchor does a good job, and then they have beautiful product listings and everything, and just the best quality product is really why I buy it, but it makes me feel even better when I open it. And then they also give me a nice little carrying bag too for it, even though that wasn't necessary, but it's a nice little neoprene carrying bag. It felt pretty nice. That's an example there. So if you notice, they had a beautiful color scheme. You want everything to be consistent across your brand. And more minimalistic and simplistic is actually going to be better. Don't have it this big messy thing that everybody is like, wow, what's going on here? The Anchor's was very simple. On the outside, Anchor, the brand name. The inside, their accessories thing, it said accessories. 2 little simple white simplistic things with little images that made everything fast, easy to digest, happy, not happy. Like little images, like share, like putting these little subconscious things into people and just focusing on what's important. Don't preach and all this stuff and do unnecessary things. Just having it nice and simple and elegant and beautiful is going to be the best way to get people. Because, think about it. You bought a product. You just bought it for the product. You're not going to sit there and read like a 4-page story. But if it's well designed and really fast and simple, images get to the brain really quick, and then you can get that branding across. So what do they focus on here? The emotions and the needs. So tech. You know, basically we want to charge and have a good fast charging phone, and so they made me feel like this was just high quality and it was going to protect and keep my phone well charged because everything was nice and tight, and just, I don't know, it just felt like a good experience opening it. So that is, you know, if you're really focusing on branding, and they got across their message, we're the biggest, we're the best, and yeah. So that's if you're really focusing on the branding there. Now you could just have it be more functional. Okay, so we're in Malta, so we don't have too many examples here, but let's say Amazon Basics here, okay? They just sold me batteries. Well, they just have all the info there. It's all pretty simple, but it's nice and fast, easy to open. It's very compact. They don't waste any space. And they focus on functionality. So they put, instead of having all the batteries just there, like when you typically buy and it's annoying, they package 4 of them together. So, and it's perfect because my voice recorder is actually 4 of them at a time. So by having them all like this, it doesn't become a mess. And yeah, it's very functional. Has all the required info. It's just a brown box with the black packaging, all the legal requirements, and you know, all the info, and this is simple. And I rebuy this all the time. It's a good price, but that, you know, it's not always about price. But like, you know, focusing batteries, it's just a utility here. I'm not looking to get wowed when I open up my AA batteries to put in my remote or something. Unless it's like a remote that's keeping my family alive or something. I don't know. Like, it's just batteries. So yeah, get it there functionally and have all the information necessary, and just make it easy for the customer because they're just buying batteries because they need them. So that's kind of what you're going to be thinking about here. And like with that neoprene case, you know, they just want that case to protect their laptop. You did a nice design. They chose because your design. They just want to get it out and get it in their laptop. You know, they don't want to like have this big, like, get their family around the campfire and unbox it. So yeah, that's what I got. If you guys got any other questions or tips about going about the packaging, let me know down below, and on to the next video.